Hello and welcome to another edition of reading from my book, And the Universe Said Hold My Beer. You can find this book over on Amazon, but if you really want a copy, an autographed copy, hit me up in my DMs or message me here on Facebook or Instagram, and I will personalize a copy for you for $20. So you can so we can work out how you can send me the money. So where are we now? So basically, this book, when I wrote it, I was looking at it, at different things for the titles and stuff because I used Cosmic Beauty last time. So I was sitting there thinking about, so well, I'm going to, keep with the theme of, of the universe, and that's why I thought about it. I said, there's always things that happen, and the universe is always like, or different situations, like when you just think that things just can't be any worse, or maybe it gets better. And the universe says, here, hold my beer. I'm going to show you that I am going to up the ante on things and make your life better. So that's what you hope. So this poem is called Bound to Him. And this was a word prompt that it wasn't a word prompt, it's actually a picture prompt. And that picture prompt was basically for monochrome photo. And it was for them, I think, or somebody else. But because there were so many different ones. But anyway, why are you bound to him? Investing so much of yourself into someone who cannot do the same? Is this some kind of torture you feel you have to endure? Don't spill yourself into a cup with a hole in it because he's not worth your time. You're blinded by the obsession that he's your friend, when you can clearly see he has no ropes keeping him in his place. So please untie those knots you twisted yourself into with someone who doesn't know you exist beyond plastic and cardboard cutouts. Don't waste your time and energy on someone who doesn't see the beauty of you as a person. Just let go of those cards or cords and unravel yourself from him. And this basically was for a situation that a family member was in because of they liked somebody, but the person just kind of like blew her off because he was more interested in other things than her. And then this person is a very kind, loving, caring person. This person I know, she'll do the world, give you the world if it was within her ability. So for this person to treat her like that was just really sad. And I wrote that about that, and it's just so messed up how people don't devalue others because they don't see their worth when everybody has worth, self-worth, and everybody has worth to being in existence, whether you may not see that or not. They do, unfortunately, with different people. Now next one's called Represent People. The colors of the rainbow represent people of each individual color. Stands as a testament to humanity of perseverance for a new kind of freedom in existing without living in fear of losing oneself in a world. Being an individual means you go against the grain. So these are my colors and my people, my voice, and an individual living beyond existing. So this is basically talking about someone who is a member of the LGBTQ community and having that it doesn't matter, you know, but everybody sees them and they paint them black and white when there's so much more to them as individuals beyond or what whether they where they identify on the spectrum of being um, male or female, you know. But also when you talk about mental illness too, and having that thing about people with mental illness suffer through a lot of things, so we can't judge them for those things. It's not up to us. The next one's called cultivating the soul, in the soil, actually. Things we grow in the garden of ideas are just a fraction of the dreams we cultivate in the soil. We water and nurture the seeds we planted, whether it's love, friendship, or hope something rises from a little seed to nourish us. And it's basically about planting the seeds and ideas of things that, or when you're working towards building a business or things, so you're planting the seeds and getting those things where they're being enriched to be able to nourish you later on, whether it's having a business that's flourishing to be able to meet your needs for things, or it's the things you do to learn in retrospect of who you are as a person. Even more when you're looking at different things and how you grow as an individual. Next one's called Cold Fingers. Stone hands, cold fingers grip her, in suffocating sonnets, lyrics, and lies, all told to corrupt her, in believing something she is not. And this was for a word prompt. And I was looking at the part of how people are corrupted into believing things that are not true. There's so much propaganda out there because people rely on media or social media and different things like that instead of going and reading about it and trying to find out new information about things and going beyond the internet, because the internet can be, used for telling propaganda. Go to your library, look at books that have the information there that you can find. Next one's called I See You. And it's a short one. All those echoes of memories come back to me when I see you with someone else. And this basically was for a word prompt, and it was just looking at how, when you see somebody and they've moved on in their life and they found somebody else, and you're just like, well, okay, you may end up getting a situation where you feel something for that person, or then again, you may not. It just depends on the situation. Because for me, it's like, yeah, my exes have moved on in their life. They got married and different things like that. So I do wish them well. That's basically how it is. I wish them well. I hope they have a better life because I'm going to do my thing and do to take care of myself. This next one's called My Falling Tears. The echoes of my falling tears drown out the raindrops when I walk. And there's a lot of times when you go on walks and stuff, you think about all the different things that something that's basically been a problem for you in your mind and all that. So a lot of times you may cry, and if it's raining, the raindrops hide your tears. So it was something that I really took to heart during the Ernest Goes to Camp, when he ended up trading off the camp, or getting the thing to being assigned. Um, so he ended up losing the camp, and he made so many mistakes, and he thought he was gonna be able to stand up to people. Even the most weird or stupid movies can have the most impactful message. So this is called Through These Keys. And I believe this is, well, we'll see. I wish I can tell you something to get your mind off of this. It's going to take time to unlock each one as I fumble through these keys. I wish I was faster and this was the master key to all. I can't erase your pain, your frustration with me, nor the anxiety of how claustrophobic you might be feeling in this moment. I've got to keep myself steady and not to show worry, hide all that. Bury it deep inside of me to keep you calm. One by one, the locks fall away. Quickly, it didn't take long before you were free. Now those chains contain me, and every lock bound me when I released you. Your frustration and silence and anger at me for the lack of pace is freeing you from your prison. So you punish me for sacrificing myself by walking away with keys in your hand as the tide comes in. Now, basically, this is for a picture prompt, and it's basically somebody having a bunch of locks around them. And, you frantically, so Pagan is that you're frantically trying to unlock this person who is drowning in their own things. And it's like, but they're mad at you because they expect you to help fix them. by unlocking all these things that are there that hold them back. So when those things don't free them, or when you don't free them fast enough, they blame you for everything, and you end up losing that person because they chain you in that disbelief and everything, and then watch you drown when they walk away because they're done with you. So this next one's called Own My Body, My Mind and Body. Why must I cage myself to be happy in your... No, let me rephrase that. Let me start back. Why must I cage myself to be happy in the eyes of others? Isn't my happiness more important to me than pleasing you? I am still the same person whether I like someone from my own gender or want to feel comfortable in my own body and mind, or mind and body. Everyone else is free from their burdens. However, you feel my choices infringe on your religious perspectives. God is love. Jesus is love. Didn't you, a God-fearing individual, study this out in your prayer time? Why don't you temper your expectations and cage your beliefs for a change? Leave me be, let me live my life according to my existence and identify as the person I am. Your religious intentions are not my own, and that doesn't make me a bad person. Yes, there are people who carry our cause to the extreme, because there are some with you within your community who do the same and go without tasting justice for their acts of violence. Religion has carried a crude crusade against all things that don't align with God. Since the beginning, knowledge has been burned, great works of art destroyed, because you consider it to be a false idol. I'll give you a pass back then. Some things were out of line. However, you ignore all the other idols placed before you. Politicians are considered righteous men. Womanizers are saints. And you ignore the mentally ill. And the families plead for assistance until the mental block breaks and people end up suffering from the chaos. Men of color live in fear from people with badges who live in a Eugene Tackleberry power trip. Children spend their time practicing active shooter drills to avoid being moving targets for deranged gun-toting lunatics, instead of dreaming about becoming doctors, lawyers, and veterinarians and race car drivers. They couldn't even pass the third grade due to the fear of another. And so was it due to a fear of another shooting taking place? False alarm, bomb threats, active shooters people driving vehicles into large crowds like they're playing a video game. All greed and lies to worry about my choice of who I sleep with, or how a woman chooses to protect her body from men who have no right in dictating whether she wants to have children or not. God gave us free will, not free willy. I've studied those same religious accords, and I refuse to debate which parts of the sky or grass is blue or green with you. Now, this is basically cut and dry, because I wrote this for a poem for Pride Month. And there was a lot of things that happened since then with this, but it's still true that, that it's basically, it doesn't matter who the person that someone decides that they want to be with, whether it's the same sex or not. You have no choice in that matter of who somebody loves. You don't. And then you talk about all the other things when it comes to guns and the things that happen with children being killed, or being unalived, I should say. Things like that. You know, we really need to take take the time to be able to take care of things and not really worry about. You know what? It is what it is. But anyway, this next one's called Ravages of Time. She clung to Father Time, hoping that her embrace would stop the ravages of time. Alas, nothing seemed to slow Father Time's gaze upon her skin. Wrinkles formed when she laughed. Body parts once sprang forth began to drip and sag. Her eyes grew tired as she could barely see beyond the reach of her outstretched arms. Tired and needing a rest, she leaned upon the pole, holding time in place. It was there where she passed from her shell, a brightly marble light bursting forth in the husk of time, and her soul would commingle with the atoms in space, making her immortal in the eyes of the cosmos and far beyond the reach of time. And this is basically about us getting older. Now, I was looking at it from a woman's point of view, and how so many people try to do things to be able to get, to escape Father Time's grasp. But Father Time is undefeated, and he's coming. So, yeah. So we will leave it there. I appreciate you all so much for joining me today. I will see you next week, same time, maybe a little earlier. Don't know. But y'all have a good one. Definitely check out my friends down in the caption. Bill Roland Miller and Sarah Aikenhead, and they're casting in for our podcast. They talked about Hunger Games last weekend, or the last time, so definitely check that out. Aria and Alberta and their Reiki sessions. My friend Jenna Jinks Portraits, who is doing a limited commissions because she's got a lot going on. So definitely, if you reach out to her, just understand that may be a situation that may come up. And my friend Dwight Kirk, when his simulated sports over on YouTube, definitely check him out. Right now, I don't have anything going on, and just dealing with the holidays, Thanksgiving, all the other things. But I hope to see you again. Take care of yourselves. Enjoy your weekend. See you.